Picture this for a second. The arena lights are bright. The crowd is still buzzing. The medals are laid out neatly on a silver tray. Cameras are flashing from every angle. And in the middle of it all stands a young man who has carried expectations on his shoulders for years. That young man is Jack Hughes. And tonight, he's not just a rising NHL star. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He steps forward, chin slightly raised, eyes steady. Around his neck, they place the gold medal he's been dreaming about since he first laced up skates as a kid. Somewhere in the stands, two people can barely hold back tears. His parents. And if you saw the clip going viral with the caption, "This is your mother. This is the team she helped win," you know exactly how powerful this moment felt. This wasn't just about one player. This was about family, about sacrifice, about national pride, and about two USA hockey teams bringing gold back home. Let's talk about what this moment really means. First, let's set the stage. We're at the Winter Olympics, the biggest stage in winter sports. Every 4 years, the world stops to watch. Hockey becomes more than a game. It becomes identity. It becomes legacy. And for Americans, there's always one matchup that hits different. USA versus Canada. You can feel it before the puck even drops. It's history. It's rivalry. It's tension. It's bragging rights that last for years. On the men's side, the United States men's national ice hockey team battled through a brutal tournament. Speed, physicality, clutch goaltending, overtime scares. They didn't glide to the gold. They earned it shift by shift. Waiting on the other end? The powerhouse north of the border, the Canada men's national ice hockey team. A team built on depth, discipline, and decades of dominance. Every hit echoed. Every shot felt like it could tilt the balance of history.
And when the final horn sounded, it wasn't just a win. It was a statement. Gold for the United States. But here's the thing. It wasn't just the men. The women showed up and made history too. The United States women's national ice hockey team went toe-to-toe with their longtime rivals, the Canada women's national ice hockey team. If you've ever watched women's Olympic hockey, you already know. These games are wars on ice. Skill at the highest level. Speed that makes your head spin. An emotion that pours out in every shift. The women's final felt like it could explode at any second. Big saves. Breakaway chances. Crowds on their feet. And when Team USA sealed it, pure eruption. 2 gold medals. 2 American teams. 1 unforgettable Olympic run. Now let's zoom back in on Jack Hughes. If you follow the NHL, you already know the name. He's been the face of the New Jersey Devils rebuild. Drafted first overall. Expected to transform a franchise. Expected to carry weight beyond his years. And he has. But the Olympics are different. In the NHL, you play for a city. For a franchise. For a fan base. At the Olympics, you play for something bigger. You play for your flag. There's something about seeing that, USA, across your chest. It changes the air around you. It sharpens every stride. Hughes didn't just show up to participate. He showed up to lead. His speed created space that didn't exist. His vision opened passing lanes that seemed impossible. His confidence rippled through the bench. And when the pressure was highest, he didn't shrink. He attacked. That's what separates great players from unforgettable ones. But let's talk about the real heart of this story. His parents. You could see it in their faces. The years of early morning practices. The road trips. The sacrifices. The financial strain that youth hockey can bring. The emotional roller coaster of watching your child chase a dream that only a fraction ever reach. Hockey is not cheap. It's not easy. And it's not forgiving.
Behind every Olympic gold medalist, there's usually a family that quietly paid the price. That viral caption, the one calling out "This is your mother," hit because it reminded people of something real. Parents are part of the team. They don't score goals. They don't block shots. They don't get their names engraved on trophies. But they're there for every fall, every injury, every doubt-filled car ride home. When Hughes received that medal and looked toward the stands, it wasn't just pride in his eyes. It was gratitude. You could see the little kid in him for a split second. The kid who probably once wore oversized pads and dreamed about this exact moment. Now, imagine being his mom in that crowd. You remember the first time he stepped on the ice. You remember the first time he cried after a tough loss. You remember wondering if all the effort would be worth it. And now? You're watching your son stand at center ice while the American anthem plays, gold around his neck. Try not to cry. Seriously. That's what the Olympics do. They compress a lifetime into a single, emotional snapshot. And here's the bigger picture. This gold medal isn't just a personal achievement for Hughes. It's a signal about the future of American hockey. For years, Canada has been the gold standard. Deep talent pool, cultural obsession, generations of legends. But this new wave of American players? They're fearless. They're skilled. They grew up watching miracle clips and Stanley Cup runs and thinking, why not us? Hughes represents that shift. He's part of a generation that doesn't see Canada as unbeatable. They see them as challengers. And that mindset changes everything. Let's talk about the game itself for a minute. In the final minutes against Canada, the tension was suffocating. Every clear, every line change, every whistle felt like it carried the weight of a nation.
The U.S. defense held firm. The goaltender stood tall. The forwards pressed without panic. Hughes played with controlled urgency. Not reckless. Not passive. Just locked in. That's maturity. That's growth. And when the last seconds ticked away? Sticks thrown in the air. Gloves scattered. Players piling on top of each other at center ice. You don't fake that joy. That's raw. And as the medal ceremony began, something shifted from chaos to ceremony. The players lined up. Helmets off. Hair messy. Faces flushed from battle. One by one, they stepped forward. When Hughes' name was called, the roar was different. Maybe it was the camera focus. Maybe it was the hype around him. Maybe it was just that everyone knew this was a defining moment. Gold placed around his neck. A brief nod. A deep breath. And then he looked up. Right toward the stands. Right toward his parents. That connection? That's the part you can't script. Now let's not forget the women's team again for a second, because their victory matters just as much. They've been trading gold and silver with Canada for years. The margins are razor thin. Overtime heartbreaks. Shootout drama. Games that become instant classics. This time, the U.S. women took control of their destiny. Their speed through the neutral zone was electric. Their defensive structure was airtight. Their composure under pressure was championship level. When they clinched gold, it wasn't just revenge. It was validation. It said that American hockey, top to bottom, is thriving. Men's gold. Women's gold. That's not luck. That's development. That's investment. That's belief. And if you're a young kid watching at home, whether you're in Minnesota, Michigan, New Jersey, or California, you just saw something powerful. You saw proof.
Proof that you can grow up in the U.S., chase this sport, and stand on top of the Olympic podium. That matters. Moments like this shape generations. Now, let's circle back to that viral energy in the caption. It had attitude. It had pride. It had a little bit of edge. Because sports rivalry brings that out of people. When the U.S. beats Canada in hockey, it's not quiet. It's loud. It's bold. It's emotional. But underneath the trash talk, there's respect. Canada brings out the best in Team USA because the standard is so high. And when you beat the best, it feels earned. Hughes knows that. His teammates know that. Their parents in the stands know that. And here's what I love most about this entire scene. For all the hype, for all the headlines, for all the social media clips, at its core this moment was simple. A son looking up at his parents. Parents looking down at their son. A medal that represents thousands of invisible hours. That's it. Strip away the rivalry. Strip away the national flags. Strip away the viral captions. And what you have is a family dream fulfilled. That's why people connect with Olympic moments so deeply. They're not just about winning. They're about the journey. Jack Hughes didn't become an Olympic champion overnight. He became one through scraped knees, through strength training sessions no one saw, through criticism, through expectations, through pressure that would break most people, and through support. So when you see him standing there, gold shining under arena lights, parents wiping tears from their eyes, understand that you're not just watching a highlight. You're watching the payoff of a lifetime. And when both the men's and women's USA teams bring home gold over Canada, that's not just a good tournament. That's history. It's a reminder that American hockey isn't chasing anymore. It's leading. And somewhere out there, a young kid just looked at that medal ceremony and thought, that could be me. Maybe their mom was sitting next to them on the couch. Maybe their dad just said, if you work hard enough. That's how legacies begin. Jack Hughes will skate many more games in his career. He'll score more goals. He'll have more playoff runs. He'll face new challenges. But there is something untouchable about Olympic gold. It doesn't fade. It doesn't get traded. It doesn't get forgotten. And neither will the image of his parents, eyes filled with pride, watching their son stand at the top of the hockey world. 2 teams. 2 gold medals. 1 unforgettable Olympic chapter. USA Hockey didn't just win games. They created moments that will live on for decades. And that, more than anything, is what makes this story so powerful.